Alright everybody, for today's video we're going to Xochimilco Ecological Park. This is one of the most wild areas of Mexico City. It's the last area where you can find true nature. It's the last area where you can find the famous ajolote, a small amphibian creature that lives in the swampy areas of Xochimilco. You'll be able to find lots of wildlife, different types of plants, lots to see here. So hopefully you can enjoy this video. Okay, located here in the most southern part of Mexico City is Xochimilco. Xochimilco was once part of a greater lake called Lake Xochimilco, and became a lake because the Aztecs had separated Lake Texcoco into separate different areas. It was a terminal lake, so that means the lake had no output, same as Xochimilco. They're lakes that have no rivers leaving out of it. They have only rivers that lead into it. The lake started drying up due to agriculture and drinking for the population. And another important thing is there's a lot less snow in the mountains today. So not as much water is produced. So the lakes aren't fed as much anymore, only by seasonal rainfall in the summer and in the fall. One of the interesting things here in Xochimilco is that there's so many different plant varieties here, from water-based plants to like grasses and flowers. And one of the interesting things is that not all of these plants are indigenous to Mexico. During the colonial period, seeds were carried like this, maybe on livestock or stuck on people's clothing, and they're brought here from Europe. That's why you can find tumbleweeds in North America, because they're actually brought here from Russian immigrants. And it's just interesting to note that maybe what you see may not always be, original or part of the environment that was originally here. This area used to be part of a trajinera's embarcadero, where people come and load boats and go on for a party, and they would drink and have fun, celebrate their birthday. But when the park was established, it enclosed parts of what used to be the tourist areas, and being this one of them, these boats were left here. I don't know for how long, but as you can see, they're no longer floating too well. The boats have now become part of the environment itself. If you look closely now, there's plants growing inside, there's fish living, there's algae in that one over there. I can assume that the boats are reflecting the light from the sun and making it warm in there, like a warm area, so the algae can grow. Little bugs can live in there, which allows more fish to grow. And it's really interesting that the environment has taken back what was its before. An interesting thing to note about these trajineras is that they're a modern day form of the boats that used to exist here in Mexico City. Mexico City was, like I said before, a giant lake, and they used to use these types of boats to move around the city. And then once the lake started drying up, canals were starting to be formed, and that's why you have like streets like Rio Mixcoac or Rio Churubusco, because they were once rivers, and now today they're highways for cars with the same curves and direction as the rivers once were. So one of the biggest problems here in Xochimilco, as you can see behind me, is pollution from garbage, from people, from tourists, from people from the city coming out and just throwing their garbage into the water system. It's terrible. And this can only be prevented by making awareness to everybody that if you want to sustain Xochimilco or our wilderness around, our wild forests, you have to start taking care of yourself and the world around you.